Howdy diddly do, everybody. I hope everyone is doing a-okay. I am yours truly, Sprite, and welcome back to another episode of Sprite's World. And today we are going to be reviewing WrestleMania 41. Before we get into said topic, I just want to say you may have noticed a little difference here in my, I don't know what you want to call it. You want to call it studio, you want to call it shed. But if you're watching by video, you'll notice that I've moved my desk around in a little more convenient space for me. I had put some insulation right behind me, right behind Mr. Cody Rhodes there. Because insulation is good to have inside a shed like this, because during the day when it's hot, it gets super hot in here. During the winter, it gets super cold in here. So there's a lot of benefits to putting insulation into, a shed and stuff like that. And this is like my first time. Oh, my hat's on a little weird. There we go. We gotta fix that little hat. There we go. Washington Capitals. All right, anyways. There's a lot of benefits to installing insulation, and my goal is, after I put the rest of the insulation around the shed, I gotta buy more, and then I'll be able to plop some and squish them into these little wooden pillars. And then I'll be able to install a drywall. But anyways, there's multiple benefits to putting insulation into a shed, because you can keep temperature in there. I have an AC unit inside this place to, keep the temperature normal. Much needed, especially if I'm going to have stuff in it, including myself playing video games and recording and stuff like that. I also, want to make it a nice little hangout zone in here too. Bring my friends and family in here and do whatever, just play video games, like just something to get away with. And also insulation helps keep some outside noise from bearing inside, because it's a shed once again. Ever since I moved into this house that I'm currently in, I've been doing a lot of DIY projects that never thought I would ever do. And it's a learning process. There's a lot of stuff I haven't done before. Like, this is my first time putting insulation on the wall. And when I originally bought it, I bought the one that comes in a big packet that you just rip open and you just put it in the wall right behind me. And I hadn't realized to cut into pieces to put it into the insulation. I just grabbed one big thing of it, and I put it on the wall, and it's just like this very thin, not thin, but like this very long piece. And it didn't properly fit onto the wall, and it would keep falling off. And I'm just thinking to myself, okay, well, maybe I'll get myself some construction glue and I'll slap it on there. So I got some construction glue and I slapped it on the wall and waited a few minutes, and sometimes it would stick, sometimes it would fall down. Now, my silly self, this is my first time experiencing it. I had to look up YouTube videos to see how insulation is done and what's a good brand. And I have learned that you can just cut the pieces of insulation and just put it in there sideways, so it actually stays snug in there and it fits and it stays. It's not going to fall, it's not going to do anything. So those insulation that I've installed behind me is sitting and staying, and it's good to have. And once I complete the entire shed full of insulation, then I will put in drywall, and then I will be able to put up posters and all sorts of other stuff on there, which is pretty exciting if you ask me. And then maybe I can decorate this whole place a little bit more. But yeah, no, ever since I moved to this big old place, I've done a lot of projects I never thought I would, and I've been changing things to more of my liking, a little more to my style, a little more to this. I've learned how to build a fence, especially thanks to my mom. She helped me. There's a lot of things that I've done, and I continue planning on doing a lot more. And hopefully, as I do that, you will see more improvements to come here. Now, the ceiling, as you can see, I'm going to have to put drywall over it as well. Not as easy to put insulation, so I'm thinking out how to get the foam one that you spray on the side and then cover it with the drywall, because you can get a spray one and just have it just sit there. I haven't done too much research on it yet. I'm pretty sure I'm not supposed to breathe that in or anything, so I'm just gonna spray it, and then just once it dries over, I think I'm gonna do that last, but it will also reduce the noise when it rains, because when it rains in here, especially during the summer, it's gonna rain a lot. So during the summer, I especially want to be able to just cover everything in here, reduce the noise, and be able to record in the middle of the night or whatever it is when I record, even during the day. But during the day, there's airplanes going by or people driving cars nearby, some loud motorcycles or whatever, anything. There's a stick hitting the freaking roof, surprisingly, because how it's made. It just makes a lot of noise. So I think it's just better off for me to just, insulate it, put some drywall, and do things my way. Now, I never thought I'd be able to do this kind of stuff. I never thought I'd ever come across this kind of stuff in my life. It's definitely a different experience. Insulation is expensive, by the way. This pack that I got was like $70, and it didn't really cover too much. I mean, I put it in pieces, and I used every little bit that I had, but man, insulation's expensive, but it'll be worth it in the long run, because I plan on being in here and I plan on using it and all that. So it's just one of those things where it's like one of those. I'm not gonna buy everything all at once, because that's a lot of money, but just gradually work my way through. So yeah, I'm pretty excited for that kind of stuff. Anyways. Today is May 2nd, the release of this episode of the podcast, and because it's May 2nd, if you have a birthday on May 2nd, well, first of all, happy birthday. Secondly, you share a birthday with a celebrity known as Dwayne Johnson, The Rock. Yeah, I didn't really think that would be his birthday. It's May 2nd. Let's click on Dwayne Johnson. How old will he be? He was born on 1972 in Hayward, California. Let's see. Let's click on. I can't do the simple math of 1972 minus. Well, it should be the bigger number. 2025 minus 1972. But let's just search up Dwayne Johnson and make my life a little bit easier, because it's the middle of the night right now. He will be 53 years old, and he is still kicking. He is still doing a lot of things, and good on him. He still looks young. He's doing a lot of things. I'm pretty sure he will look phenomenal when he gets to the age of 60. It will be very interesting to see how his career will go once he hits that age. I don't know if he'll be more driven in WWE, because now that he's been with TKO more and been dipping his hands in WWE, acting like he owns the place or runs the place, and I mean, technically he kind of does. It'll be fascinating to see his creative process and what he'll do, because there's no way he's going to retire at the age of 60. He's not going to retire when he's 70. The Rock is a kind of person that's just going to keep on working, it seems like. And who knows what will happen in the future. I think it's very fascinating. But yeah, we're here. Speaking of The Rock, we're here to review WrestleMania 41, and what a week it has been at that time period, because WWE has been a little controversial the week of. They've been doing a lot of shots towards AEW, a lot of mentions of that company. Nick Khan went on to an interview to diss TK about how they are having wrestlers just sit in catering or whatever it was that Nick Khan made the comment of. And it's a little ironic because WWE kind of does the same thing, like almost like what is he doing? Um, and other wrestlers. There's a lot of other wrestlers that WWE has hired that they're just not using. The Wyatt Six, I know, who's injured. I forgot who was injured. But they could still use the other characters of the Wyatt Six. You know, you don't have to like bench them all if one person's just injured. You could just still use the characters and have them do, bits and whatever. It just seems like ever since the Wyatt Six made their debut, they have not really been doing too much. It's a little bit of a shame. But anyways, we are going to WrestleMania 41. Yeah, the WWE PR, they just need to hire somebody. I don't know what they're doing. They've been just saying a bunch of random stuff. And other than Nick Khan, you got Triple H going out there just kind of getting a little edgy on the internet, getting a little edgy about how fans are criticizing. One of the posts he had made is how fans should stop being, critics, and they should just be a fan of wrestling. And while you can be a fan of wrestling, it's hard, to defend garbage. Not everything's going to be a great product. You in your mind can think it's a great product, but you also will know that once the product has been delivered, you may look back and think to yourself, well, maybe it wasn't as good as I thought it would be. It happens. It's life. So there's going to be criticism. What do you expect? It's not just a kids show, and I think WWE understands that. Yes, there is a lot of kids that watch it. Yes, that it caters to a good chunk of kids, but their target audience also has to be adults and people like me who watch wrestling. And their ticket prices have gone absolutely ridiculous. Like, people are spending hundreds and hundreds of thousands, or not thousands, but hundreds of dollars. I think someone said it was like $400 per seat at the nosebleeds, like the very top of the stadium in WrestleMania. It's like, no way. I'm so lucky I was able to attend a WrestleMania 33 when budgeting was valid, when everything was correct the way it's supposed to be, when before this night 1 night 2 propaganda happened, because I'm still not a fan of the night 1 and night 2 kind of thing. I understand why, and they're going to do the same thing with SummerSlam soon. I understand why. They got a lot of wrestlers now. They have a lot of content to be created. But one of the things that I can argue about, that I want to argue about, but I also understand why it doesn't work now, is that when it was just the one WrestleMania show, right? WrestleMania 33, let's use that as an example because I went to there. They had one day. They had one day to deliver everything. So they're going to prioritize and they're going to push. They're not going to have as much promos or ads in between matches. They are worrying about time, and they are going to deliver. They have to deliver on that one day, because if they waste it, you're not going to get it back. So when you're having one day of WrestleMania, you're going to have everything at that one day. And I like that because I don't have to wait 2 days. And I don't know, it just feels like the most important thing that they're pushing will happen on that one day. It's just me. I feel like if they just get back to one day, they're not. I understand why. I mean, in total combined audience, what was it, 120,000 or whatever it was? That's a lot of freaking people that attended to WrestleMania. Now, granted, it's one night is 60,000. I'm guaranteed that almost 90% of those people, 85%, maybe 80% of those audience are the same people that attended both nights. That's a lot of money. I don't know how people can do that. There's a lot of people on there on the internet that are saying like, yeah, pull a loan for it. No, don't pull a loan for freaking WrestleMania. No, don't do that. Don't hurt your credit score. Don't do that. Don't. Is it really worth it? Because there's also a lot of people in those nosebleeds. There's a lot of people in attendance, actually, not just the nosebleeds, but a lot of people that grabbed their phones, went on Peacock and or whatever subscription they had for WWE, and they streamed it. They streamed WrestleMania while they are there. And it's like, never mind that they had the big Titantrons you can watch through. People are literally just going to stare at their phones. It's like, if you're just going to bring your phone and you're going to stare at that, just don't go at all. Save your money. Was it really worth it? I mean, sure, you get to say, yeah, I got to be there. Was it worth it? You get to sit next to a bunch of people and spend expensive money on, a hot dog that's probably $15 when it should be like $2. Was it really worth it? You get to go to a hotel. I mean, WrestleMania 41 was hosted in Las Vegas, right? So that's one of those places you just spend a lot of money on anyways. But you're already wasting so much on an event. It's ridiculous. And same argument for football, same argument for a lot of places. So if it's one thing I have to give props to right now, at this current moment anyways, is AEW, because they are keeping their prices more fair and more cheap, and good on them. I mean, I know they're currently struggling at selling out some of the arenas they go to, and they've only been having like 2, 3, maybe 4,000 in attendance, but they've been also booking smaller venues, and I think it's very smart that they keep it cheap anyways. But props to them for not selling themselves out either, because they could absolutely try to make it where it's like $80 instead of $40. I mean, obviously, when you want a ringside ticket, it's going to be a couple $100 or whatever it is. It's always like that where whatever you go to. If you go to like a basketball, you want courtside, guess what? You're paying so much money. You're paying a lot. So, I mean, and that's just the weird thing is that people complain about the price as well. I mean, you're the one who made that decision. So, what can we do about that? I think one of the funnier things is like if you just don't go, if people just don't go in general, and these audience is like low, WWE's not going to have a choice but to cheapen their tickets. So, but people are just going to keep buying into it, and that's all right. It's whatever it is. So that's just something I wanted to get off my chest. Is just how expensive things have gone. Ridiculous. I mean, anyways. We're already like 17 minutes into this episode, and it's like I have not even talked about WrestleMania 41 card. I watched a little bit of night one. I watched a little bit of the fun stuff happening on that night one. And I did watch night two fully, entirely with some friends. Night one I had to work that day. Night two I was off, so I was able to go to my friends and watch it with them. So we're going to start off with night one, April 19th, Las Vegas. Woohoo. First match, which is wild that they started with this match, by the way. I think they should have started with maybe LA Knight and Jacob Fatu, but it's whatever. Anyways, so for the World Heavyweight Championship, we had Jey Uso defeat Gunther via submission in a time of 16 minutes and 30 seconds. What was weird is how the match ended. It is what it is, but I did not expect Gunther to tap out that quickly. I mean, seeing how dominant his run was, seeing how many opponents he had destroyed, seeing his entire background in general and who he is as a character, it was just kind of off to see him submit that quickly at the end of the match. At least, like, build it a little bit more. I don't know. It was weird. But it is what it is. I mean, I'm pretty sure that he is going to enjoy himself after having to lose that title. Gunther, he's got an amazing future. He's been, like he said, he's been winning championships 80% of the time since he's been in WWE. So I'm not too worried about the future of Gunther. Gunther will have a phenomenal future. They've built his character high up, and I don't see why they would want to ruin it. He is definitely going to be one of those like dominant stars in the company. Jey Uso obviously is a good choice to have as a champion. World Heavyweight, I don't know. Intercontinental made sense because that's like a mid-title. Jey Uso as a world heavyweight champion, that's different. That's very different. Was it the right move? Sometimes it has to be. Sometimes it has to be because he's got a crowd yeeting. He has been able to innovate his character. He was able to separate himself from just being a tag team partner. He was able to make a character out of himself. And poor Jimmy, he's kind of, I want to say leeching, but he is piggybacking in a sense from Jay's character because, I mean, when people see Jimmy, they kind of want to yeet. They kind of want to do the same thing that Jay's been doing. But, I mean, I think it would be smarter for Jimmy to separate himself as well and find something else for him that clicks. That is if he wants to. But Jey Uso has definitely found it for himself, and he has obviously been able to take it to new heights and win titles that aren't just tag team titles. And the Usos, they can be a great tag team. They can have phenomenal matches. We've seen phenomenal matches. We've seen them against the New Day in a steel cage fight. That was a very great match. We've seen them fight many a times. We know how good they are. So anyways, yeah, Gunther lost to Jey Uso. It's right. The time is right. It makes sense. Jey Uso is also coming close to 40s as well, I believe. So it makes sense. All right, so after that, we have a tag team match for the World Tag Team Championships. It was New Day against the War Raiders. The War Raiders were champions, and they lost to the New Day, a.k.a. Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods. That ran for 9 minutes and 15 seconds. That, to me, is fine. It was what it is. Okay match. Nothing too crazy or phenomenal. And then after that, Jade Cargill defeated Naomi in a single match. That went for 9 minutes and 20 seconds. I expected Jade to win. Jade is just one of those characters that is going to be very dominant in the future. Jade is going to definitely be a top star for their women's division, and I just don't see her losing to people such as Naomi, like it's nothing. And of course, we move on to the WWE United States Championship match. It was Jacob Fatu defeating LA Knight. LA Knight was a very good champion. Everyone loved him. I feel like he is popular. He is great, LA Knight, but I feel like the hype died down, and I hate to see that because LA Knight has such a huge following the past couple of years, and so I hope that hype can rebuild itself a little bit higher. And I believe people have been wanting to see LA Knight as a world champ, but I don't think we're going to be seeing that anytime soon. Not as soon as I'd like it to be anyways. I think personally he should have been a world champ long ago, but that's just my opinion. After that, we have another singles match. El Grande Americano defeated Rey Fenix by pinfall. That match ran for 7 minutes and 55 seconds. That was a bit predictable. Poor Rey Mysterio got injured, so he got replaced by Rey Fenix. I feel like Chad Gable, who plays El Grande Americano, I feel like Chad Gable would have defeated Rey Mysterio anyways in the singles match. They've been pushing him for a little bit. Rey Mysterio, he's won it all, done it all, so that's why I feel like he would have lost that match. It's a shame that it had to be Rey Fenix to be in that match to lose in that match. It's his first WrestleMania. Rey Fenix freshly debuted not so long ago beforehand, and just instantly got replaced by Rey Mysterio. And they have other people that could have replaced Rey Mysterio, but they chose Rey Fenix, and that's okay. So Rey Fenix, they had him lose in 7 minutes and 55 seconds in what will probably be, in my opinion, maybe a forgettable match in WrestleMania. I don't personally care too much about that match. I think the El Grande Americano is just a random gimmick. It is what it is. It's Tiffany time. It's the WWE Women's Championship match. Tiffany defeated Charlotte Flair by pinfall. 19 minutes and 5 seconds. That match was pretty good. There was definitely some questionable stuff that happened here and there. Some people posting on the Twitter and internet saying like they can't tell if it was like real punches or throws being brought into that match. But in general, I think the match held up pretty well. It's good to see 2 women matches in WrestleMania for one night. It's good to see that one went for almost 20 minutes. It's good to see women getting TV, or not TV, but pay-per-view time for WrestleMania, because that was definitely not a thing 10 years ago or whatever it was. It was definitely not a thing, especially during the Divas era. So to see women being able to wrestle for a longer period of time, to see more women wrestle in general, that is good for the show. So that's a pro. That's a definite pro for how they're doing these night 1s and night 2s for WrestleMania. And then we go on to the main event. It is the triple threat match. The triple threat match that featured Seth Rollins, CM Punk, and Roman Reigns. So obviously CM Punk had Paul Heyman in his corner. But after a long 30-ish minutes, Paul Heyman decides to turn. He went to the dark side. Paul Heyman betrayed CM Punk. Paul Heyman did a crotch shot to poor old CM Punk. And then he betrayed Roman Reigns out of nowhere. Fooled everyone that he was just going to be with Roman Reigns. But then he betrayed Roman Reigns. And next thing you know, he helped Seth Rollins win the match. And I did not expect Seth Rollins to win that match, if I'm being honest. I thought it would be CM Punk. I thought because he never main evented a WrestleMania. I don't know if you would consider this a main event because it's night 1. I'm still iffy about that, by the way. Off topic. Because this is CM Punk's official main event for WrestleMania, I thought he would have won, but he did not. It ended up being Seth Rollins. Very interesting choice, but I know they've been feuding in a long time, and it's what Seth Rollins has wanted in a long time, is to defeat CM Punk and Roman Reigns, but specifically more Punk. And of course, almost every time Seth and Roman have a feud, there's always got to be for some reason, a Shield reference. Mox, his name was popped out by Seth a couple times during the match as well. But that's okay. It's nice to know that the WWE bubble is not completely shadowing the entire wrestling universe. Oh, and of course, over the weekend, WWE bought AAA, the Mexican wrestling promotion. Very interesting. That was news to me. Did not expect that to happen whatsoever. It looks like WWE is basically taking over the world. They have indies promoting just like indie wrestlers. Like, it's so weird. They have NXT, they have AAA now, and I heard they wanted to do the rename AAA into WWE NXT Mexico, which I thought that was very interesting. It makes sense, and I feel like a lot of changes are to come to AAA in the future. What's also interesting is Alberto Del Rio is AAA's champion, and Del Rio has a bit of a bad background. I'm not going to get into that, but it's just very interesting how things are coming together, because Del Rio got canceled, he got Me Too'd, and he is definitely not wrestling in the States for that reason. Anyways, that's off topic. That's whole AAA business. We'll see what happens in the future. I'm interested. My American audience, who really watched AAA? I didn't watch AAA. No one hardly even talked about AAA on Twitter. That's where I'm on most of the time when I just want to see people talk about wrestling. Anyways, we're going to night 2, April 20th, at the same stadium. We start off with Io Sky defeating Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley to retain her Women's World Championship. This was a triple threat match, and it lasted for 14 minutes and 25 seconds. Now, that was a pretty good match, in my opinion. Io Sky took a lot of blows, and she came in, and I didn't think she would win it. I thought Rhea Ripley would win it, but that's okay. Io Sky happened to retain the title, and good for her. She had her family right there, and they were all able to hug. It was a great match. Drew McIntyre defeated Damian Priest in a Sin City Street Fight. 13 minutes 55 seconds. It was an okay match. I don't like that Drew McIntyre's entrance that they did the ad with Doom. Drew McIntyre dressed up a little bit in a Doom themed costume. Excuse me. And I thought it was a little corny, if I'm being honest. But it is what it is. And of course, when Damian Priest comes out, he had, what was it, the guitarist of Slayer freaking slamming through his entrance. I choked on my own spit or something. Anyways, I didn't really care too much about the entrance, if I'm being honest. I thought Damian would win the match because I just thought like they would be pushing him because he's more new than Drew is. But, you know, it is what it is. Drew won. I don't really care too much about the background of the story in that one. Next up, we go on to the Fatal 4-Way match of the WWE Intercontinental Championship. That ran for 10 minutes and 30 seconds. We had Braun Breaker as the champion, going against Finn Balor, Penta, and Dominic Mysterio. Dominic Mysterio happens to win the match. And I thought that was a good call. Dominic finally got a title again. He deserved it. It's been a hot minute since he held anything. I predicted he would win. It's smart to push him because Penta, he only recently just joined the company, so why would they put a title on him? Finn Balor, he did it all. Braun Breaker, he's been the champion for a little long now, so it made sense. Braun did not get pinned. I think that was a good call. Braun should not have been pinned. You got to keep him looking big after that match. So I'm pretty sure Braun's going to have a good future as well. And then we have Randy Orton with an open challenge. Randy Orton came out and basically just waited for someone to come out. And who came out? Say his name and he appears. It's Joe Hendry. Joe Hendry, the TNA champ, came out and he delivered. He did what he was supposed to do. And honestly, good on Joe Hendry. That match ran for 3 minutes and 10 seconds. And some people will say it's a squash match. Some people say it's an embarrassment to the TNA Championship. I see why. I can see that point. I can understand that point. But also, we're talking about Randy Orton. Randy Orton, the Viper, the Legend Killer, the person who can easily end it all. And I think that may have been a good, appropriate squash match. I think it wasn't entirely squashed where Randy Orton just did an RKO and called it a day. No, there was some stuff that happened in the match, and I think it was brilliant. Joe Hendry was able to get his WrestleMania moment. He was able to make a surprise entrance. Everyone was not expecting him. Everyone was singing his song. Randy Orton liked it. They obviously had a little fun to it. So honestly, good on them. Good on them. We move on. Singles match. AJ Styles and Logan Paul. That went for 17 minutes and 50 seconds. Logan Paul defeated AJ Styles. It's nice to see AJ Styles have his old theme back. I know he's been using it for a little bit, but it is so great to see him use his old theme. I'd rather him use his old theme over his new theme any day of the week. So Logan Paul is definitely the future of wrestling, whether you like him or not. He does wrestle well. He is getting better at it the more and more he practices it. This is definitely going to be his future. It's just something you're going to have to accept if you hate him. Logan Paul is definitely one of those figures, if you know him previously from his internet, freaking whatever it was. Um, Everyone knows about his incident with the Japan. He obviously does not like it. It is what it is. I understand why he wouldn't like it when someone talks about it. But anyways, Logan Paul delivered. I think he did a pretty good job on that match. I like Logan Paul's new finisher called the Pulverizer. It's no longer Hangman Adam Page's Buckshot Lariat, which is nice because Logan Paul did need to get his own moveset, and it seemed like he was just doing a lot of things that Hangman did. So it's nice to see Logan Paul do a little bit more in the ring. He's still jumpy. He's still doing these spectacular moves up in the air. I feel like you could say that he needs to practice a little bit more in the ring in regards to actually wrestling. He does some stuff, don't get me wrong, but he definitely does a lot more up in the air kind of stuff. He definitely has. He had a great entrance with the drone. When Logan Paul came out on the stage, he held a drone in his hand, and at first I thought it was just like a regular little camera, like for blogging or whatever. And nope, next thing you know, the drone flies out of his hand, and it goes around the stadium, and then next thing you know, Logan Paul has a multi-view entrance, and I thought that was pretty good, cool. So, yeah, that was a good match. I recommend watching it. We move on to the tag team match for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship. It is Lyra Valkyrie. She did not have a partner, and surprise, surprise, Becky Lynch came out to help her, and they defeated Liv Morgan and Rachel. I don't know her name. I'm sorry, she's too new to me. Again, I don't watch Monday Night Raw or Friday Night SmackDown. I mainly just watch the pay-per-views, so it's harder for me to just keep up with all these new people. But Liv Morgan, Rodriguez. Let's just say Rodriguez because that's her last name. They lost. It was nice to see Lyra Valkyrie hold two belts. It's definitely nice to see two belts being held. It was a pretty okay match. Nothing too fascinating. Nothing to get over about. And then we move on to the main event. It's the Undisputed WWE Championship. The match that ran for 21 minutes and 40 seconds. It's Cody Rhodes and John Cena. The match everyone has been anticipating. The match that everyone wanted to see. And it's the match that people just, I guess, left unhappy. Cody Rhodes took 4 AAs. And he took a lot of blows. So one of them being a super AA from the top rope. And he was able to kick out of all of them. The match ran okay. It was just another one of those John Cena matches. John Cena was making the calls in the ring. Some people were able to hear him, record him say stuff in the middle of the ring. That's okay. When I watched it with the friends, I couldn't tell. But it was definitely slow, and then there was definitely a lot of big finishers that were happening, and it's just one of those things. It's like, he's not going to kick out, is he? Yeah, he did kick out. And it was like the third AA, it's like you thought Cody would, kick out, because typically John Cena doesn't throw that many AAs to people. You got to be like one of those huge characters to kick out of 3 AAs. And that's how they kind of treated Cody Rhodes. In fairness, he was a champion for a year before he lost it to John Cena that night. But it took Travis Scott to come out of the stage with his annoying song that they've been overly playing this past couple of months, really. Travis Scott, good song, but when you play it 500 times, it gets really annoying. So, Travis Scott appearing, for whatever reason, makes a huge difference into the match at the end, where John Cena just gets some sort of boosts and takes advantage of Cody Rhodes and is able to get the win. And no appearance from The Rock. I think that's one of the things that people were expecting. They even made shirts of how The Rock was coming back to Las Vegas. And they sold it at the freaking stadium. The Rock did not come back whatsoever. And I think that was just everyone was expecting it. Even when the show ended and they were doing like the post show or whatever it was, no Rock, no nothing. John Cena just left, not happy, not doing anything, and it's just kind of weird. That's how he did his last WrestleMania too. I'm still not used to him being a heel and the way he's acting as a heel. So it's very interesting to see him do what he did at the last WrestleMania that he's gonna do. But I also feel like whenever this year has gone past and John Cena has done what he wanted to do in his retirement tour, I feel like he is definitely going to make cameos and he's going to appear here and there. He's going to be a good guy again. No way. There's no way he's going to stay heel. But yeah, for his last WrestleMania, he had a black entrance. He kept his theme song, but the Titantron was all black, and it was just his name in white letters, and that's it. And then once he won the match, he just kind of took a long walk to himself, not looking at or acknowledging anyone. He just walking. Yeah, it's all right. It is what it is. So yeah, John Cena is now the champion. It's going to be interesting to see how the next few weeks and months will play out. But in retrospective, I'm a little disappointed that The Rock did not come out either. You would have expected that to happen, but it did not happen. But it is what it is. I'm pretty sure The Rock will make many more appearances later in the future. There's a reason for everything. Maybe he was busy that night. Who knows? Anyways, that's all I got to say for one day. So if you liked this episode, like, comment, rate, subscribe, do whatever you do. And I will see you guys next time. Otherwise, go to bed.